On January 2nd, 1982, a steamy, sultry Orange Bowl provided the backdrop for a first-round playoff game between the San Diego Chargers and Miami Dolphins.
Here we go, Dolphins! Here we go!
Even before kickoff, anxious fans spoke sportscasters' jargon to describe their excitement over what would eventually be one of the greatest games ever played.
Well, I tell you, this is going to be a good one, because I tell you get those big boys racking them down. There's some head cracking going on today, and I tell you, they're San Diego Chargers, and somebody's going to fumble. And I tell you, it's going to be a good barn burner down in the Orange Bowl. Danny Fouts and David Woodley and all those other big boys. Head cracking going on today, Henry.
The Dolphins were slight favorites to win, but the visiting Chargers shocked everyone with a barrage of first-quarter scores. Wes Chandler's punt return ignited an outburst of 24 unanswered points as San Diego looked to turn the game into an early rout.
Way to go, James! Way to go, James! Way to bust in there!
But Coach Don Coryell knew that with 3 quarters still to play, too much time remained for his Chargers to relax.
I think what happened is that we woke the Dolphins up and created a sense of urgency within their football team that, hey, we got to get back into this game. We got to get back into it now.
The Dolphins made a key move when they yanked faltering quarterback David Woodley for backup Don Strock.
My first thoughts were, please don't put me in there. But we knew the Chargers had a average defense at that time. My basic feeling was that we had to throw the ball to win the game. The Chargers ran a lot of man-to-man coverage at that time. I could see that, and we tried to run as many man-to-man patterns as we could. And we got Tony Nathan free down the middle a few times, and Duriel Harris off of a double team, and we really basically called all the man-to-man patterns we had in our offense.
I think when you enter a game in that type of situation for a backup quarterback, the pressure's off. Hey, I wasn't there when it was 24-0. I didn't throw the interceptions or make the bad plays. As the backup quarterback, he's coming in really with a clean slate. Pressure was off him, and all of a sudden it was on us.
Tell him about it, Don Strock! Woo! Get him in the end zone, Don! Let's go, boys!
We had not prepared for Strock. We talked about Strock, but we prepared all week for Woodley and scrambling and rolling out and doing the things that he does. Strock, conversely, he just pulls back, takes a look around, he's so experienced, and dumps off to the open receiver.
Strock just came in and he played a perfect game. He couldn't play it any better. He'll never play any better than he did that evening.
While the Chargers were held in check for the rest of the half, the Dolphins were plotting to unleash a schoolyard play that caught the San Diego defense totally unprepared.
We call the play 86 circle curl lateral, is the name of the play. Coach Shula said, well, how about the circle curl lateral? And everybody was kind of like, well, how about the circle curl lateral? There was a timeout. There was 6 seconds on the clock. It's pretty hard to believe that a guy would bite on a play like that with 6 seconds to go and you're 50 yards away from the goal line. Then it worked perfectly and made every high school coach in the world happy because every high school has that play.
Strock drops to throw. He's firing for Harris. Lateral, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Dolphins. To Tony Nathan on the last play of the first half.
I told y'all we're gonna come back! We're gonna come back and whoop them! Miami's #1! Never give up on Miami!
When we saw the play develop, we laughed. We said, oh boy, we're in for it now. And what it did for us is it made us realize that, hey, this game isn't over. This game is going to go right down to the wire, and so be it. We're going to be there too.
The Chargers roared back on the play of number 80 tight end Kellen Winslow. In a game with many heroes, Winslow earned special notice. setting playoff records for receptions and yardage while overcoming a pinched nerve, a bruised shoulder, and heat exhaustion.
I remember Dave Levy, who's now our offensive line coach. I came out of the game going to the bench, wincing in pain. About a minute later, I ran by Dave, tapped him on the hip, and said, "I'm going back in." And as I was running by him, I heard him saying to the coaches upstairs in the press box through the speaker, "I don't believe this. He's going back into the game." And I looked back at him and started grinning, and I said, this sounds like TV. It sounds like somebody wrote this.
The drama continued to unfold as both teams seized, then lost the lead. But with only minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, the Dolphins finally took control and appeared to a victory within their grasp.
Dolphins running out the clock. The Chargers have to force a turnover. Strock, hands off to the first man. The ball's on the ground. Chargers have recovered. So San Diego lives, has one more shot from their own 18.
Trailing 38-31, the Chargers mounted a desperation drive. With less than a minute to go, San Diego tied the game on a play that probably should have failed.
I was zeroed in on Kellen Winslow. I escaped out to the right and saw Kellen heading back to the corner of the end zone. Didn't even see James Brooks. Well, to my surprise, Kellen couldn't get it. The next thing I know, here's this flash, and it's James Brooks, and he makes the catch for the tying touchdown. That's one that's just pure luck.
The Chargers' good luck continued during the final play of regulation. The Dolphins' Uwe von Schamann attempted the winning field goal, but Kellen Winslow added to his heroics by blocking the kick. In overtime, the Chargers had their opportunity to win, but the results were similar.
Paderska's ready. It's a 27-yarder. The snap, it's down, he hits it, it's up. It's no good.
Paderska had never missed a game-winning field goal in his career. But then the Chargers blocked a second Dolphin field goal try minutes later, and Miami's fighting spirit had finally reached the breaking point.
In the overtime, when we had the opportunity to win the game and missing the field goal, and I think that moment was probably the big down of that particular day. Even though they beat us later on during the course of the game, I think that moment was probably the most toughest moment to swallow as a player in that game.
The Chargers were given a second chance, and this time they did not fail.
At the end of the game, I felt our offensive line had dominated the Dolphins' defensive line and had demoralized them to the point where, hey, we can't get to the quarterback and we're not going to win.
Behind perfect protection, Fouts picked Miami apart, setting the stage for Paderska's game-winning field goal. On a hot, muggy Florida evening, two teams had waged an epic battle that they would remember for the rest of their lives.
Nietzsche, the German philosopher, once said, "If it doesn't kill me, it's going to make me stronger." And that's what that game did. We almost died, and we came through.
I've seen an awful lot of great games, but I think that one has to be at the top. It was uplifting. There was no sense of defeat by anybody involved, or even by the people in the stands. To see it was just man rising as high as he could in a form of athletic endeavor. I felt that I just experienced something rare and unusual that I would not soon be seeing again, if ever.